Welcome to The Drinking Rethink, a podcast designed to help you take a fresh look at alcohol and the role it plays in your life. Whether you're starting to question your drinking habits or simply curious about making changes, this podcast offers a balanced perspective without the pressure of having to think you need to quit entirely.
In each episode, we dive into real conversations about the role of alcohol in your mind, body, and career. We explore topics like reducing stress without relying on alcohol, navigating social situations with ease, and finding satisfaction in making mindful choices. You'll hear relatable stories, expert insights, and practical tips to help you with your own drinking rethink. If you're a regular drinker, it's important to check in with a medical professional before making any big changes to your drinking patterns.
Welcome back to The Drinking Rethink. I'm Kath, joined by my co-host and friend Chris, and today we're exploring what alcohol really does to your body and brain. If you've ever wondered why you feel tired, unfocused, or even anxious after drinking, even in small amounts, this episode will help you connect the dots. We're diving into the science with insights from experts like Dr. Andrew Huberman and Dr. Sarah Wakeman, discussing how alcohol interacts with your brain and body and helping you make more educated choices about its role in your life. I'll start how this topic became personal for me. For years, I thought my weekly binge drinking was harmless because I only drank once a week. But when I learned that binge drinking increased your risk of liver disease and was classified as an alcohol use disorder, this knowledge absolutely changed everything for me.
I'm the same, Kath. Knowledge was a huge thing that was missing with my alcohol patterns before. And once I also listened to Andrew Huberman's podcast on alcohol and the science behind it, it really opened my eyes. He broke down how even moderate drinking, even just 1 or 2 drinks a day, can actually thin the neocortex, which is the part of the brain responsible for decision making and focus. That hit me hard because I always saw myself as a responsible drinker, but it completely reframed it all for me.
This is a great segue, Chris. Let's start with the brain. Dr. Andrew Huberman, who I must admit I do have a bit of a crush on, explains that alcohol is a unique molecule. It's both water and fat soluble. And as the brain is actually 60% fat, it can penetrate every cell, including brain cells, and disrupt how neurons communicate.
Yeah, one of the things I learned, and by all means, science was not my thing at school, but alcohol impacts neurotransmitters like GABA, which calms your nervous system. And it also impacts glutamate, which is the key for learning and memory. So, of course, by increasing GABA and suppressing glutamate, alcohol creates that initial relaxed feeling, but also slows down cognitive function.
Yeah, I can remember that feeling of cognitive function being slowed down after a few drinks. It's interesting, I think, though, that over time, even moderate drinking can lead to the thinning of the neocortex, which you've already spoken about, Chris, the part of the brain that's responsible for focus, planning, and emotional regulation. Huberman highlights research showing that drinking as little as 7 standard drinks a week, which really is 110, 120 mils of wine, which many would call low risk, can cause measurable brain changes.
Yeah, this blew me away because it challenges the idea that moderate drinking is harmless. And of course, the messaging in the marketing that we've been given for so many years from alcohol companies and its friends. And when you think about how it affects your ability to make decisions or manage stress, this is a big deal. Another really interesting video for me was Dr. Sarah Wakeman and the Mel Robbins podcast. That was giving me knowledge that I also didn't have before.
Dr. Wakeman explains that alcohol disrupts your brain's dopamine system, While it gives you a quick boost, an artificial high, and I call it a dopamine dump, it depletes your natural dopamine levels over time, leaving you feeling flat or unmotivated the next day. And often after years and years of drinking, you actually have to give yourself a dopamine reset because you find it very hard to even experience natural highs from activities that are more what I would call dopamine drip activities, like being in sunshine, doing some exercise, meditation, those types of things.
Moving on to the body, alcohol has significant effects on your gut health. It irritates the lining of your stomach and intestines, and it disrupts the healthy gut bacteria and actually causes inflammation. This can affect all sorts of things like digestion, immunity, and even your mood, since the gut and brain are closely connected.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it, Chris? And let's not forget the liver. As alcohol is metabolized, it produces a toxic byproduct called acetaldehyde, which damages liver cells and contributes to long-term health issues like fatty liver disease.
Another key point is sleep. Alcohol, of course, reduces the REM sleep, which is, as most people may know, the deep stage of sleep where you have dreams, but it's essential for memory and emotional processing. Even if you get 8 hours of sleep, it doesn't mean you're always getting quality rest. It's about how much REM sleep have you had.
Yeah, I think this is a really great point around sleep. Often people feel like alcohol helps them sleep, but really alcohol is sedating you or anesthetizing you, and you are not getting good quality, healthy sleep. And of course, it doesn't stop there. Alcohol can delay melatonin production, disrupting your natural sleep cycle for days, for years. And if you've been drinking each and every day for decades, your melatonin just doesn't get switched on. Your body and brain have got used to alcohol sedating you to sleep. And that's why even one night of drinking can throw you off again, because it disrupts all of that natural process.
The same goes for me. When I understood how alcohol was affecting my brain and body, it wasn't anymore about me giving something up. It was me trying to gain sharper focus, more energy, and better connections at work or home. That shift in perspective was really helpful.
Yeah, for me, understanding the science of alcohol's impact on the brain and the body helped me come to terms with some of my past behaviour and helped me to see the ripple effect it has had on many areas of our physical and emotional health.
As usual, let's now focus on things you can take away. First one of these is thinking about how you can track how alcohol affects your mood, energy, and sleep over the coming week. It might be whether you're writing it down or even using one of the free apps, so there's many out there. Also, try a 1-week alcohol-free experiment and notice how you feel physically and mentally. If you are drinking at a heavy level, that may not be an option, but at least you can think about, how do I slightly reduce or change the patterns that you've got?
And here's another journal prompt that might be helpful to start to do some work on in the coming week. What's one area of your life where you'd like to feel more clarity or energy? And how might reducing alcohol help you get closer to that goal? Today, we explore the science of how alcohol affects your body and brain and how understanding this can empower your choices. Don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with someone who might benefit. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.